Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing another update of AEC International Airport. I believe this is now the 6th implementation I've posted to YouTube of this airport. Now I only did one of these somewhat recently. At the time of recording it was my last airport update. However, there's some significant changes to the airport in this update in terms of GSE and also some of the equipment on the airport like jet bridges, and there will be some lights put up soon. However, I haven't gotten around to actually gluing them down yet. There aren't any new aircraft as such, although I've tried to mix around the fleet since last video. All of the aircraft in here have been featured in my collection update, so nothing in here that hasn't yet made its way to the channel. However, definitely some stuff that hasn't necessarily been featured on an airport. Now I must apologise, as much of the domestic action in the airport is what it was last update and probably will remain for the next few updates. Now that Gemini has released a few Alliance models, namely Fokker 170s, as well as a couple Embraers, I hope to get those and potentially spice things up a bit with them. But anyway, as you can see, the GSE is now much more extensive. I recently won an eBay auction for a large lot of GSE in 400 and potentially some 500 scale stuff. And that has really just made the airport look a lot better than it did before, a lot more extensive and detailed. So we'll get into the update starting at the main, or one of the international terminals. Here we see the Qatar Airways A350-1000. This is currently just catering, refueling and loading on baggage, and it will depart in a couple of hours for its flight to Doha. And just next to that we have the only other A350 in my collection. This is the Singapore Airlines A350-900. This is just next to the Qatar flight, currently again getting baggage loaded on. There's also boarding happening on the other side of the aircraft, and this will be departing in about half an hour for a flight over to Singapore Changi. Now here just next to that terminal we see a Jetstar Airways Airbus A320-200, this one in the old livery. This is actually operating a flight to Denpasar, Bali, hence why it's at this international side of the terminal. Now a bit of a change here. This gate here on the corner is now in use. Previously I didn't have that as an active gate, although since getting some more jet bridges, which we'll see shortly, I've been able to free up this jet bridge to move to this side of the airport, meaning that this jet bridge, or this gate here rather, can have access to a jet bridge. Anyway, yeah, got the A320 over there heading to Denpasar. And moving to this Virgin Australia domestic terminal, we see the Virgin Australia Fokker 100. Now this is in one of the new jet bridges. I'm not sure if they're a Herpa jet bridge or something like that, but they come in two different variations, one where the jet bridge is raised up to the aircraft, as you'll see on the next 737, and one where it's lowered, which is much more fitting to an aircraft like this Fokker 100. Anyway, this is just refueling and is having some baggage loaded before pushing back for its flight over to Perth. Just next to that, in another gate with a new bridge, this is the higher bridge. As you can see, it's somewhat more raised than this one here, which is quite low. And this is a Virgin Samoa 737-800 operating on behalf of Virgin Australia. This is just catering and loading baggage and cargo on. And this will be departing for a flight to the Gold Coast. And finally here on the end we have a Virgin Blue 737-700. This has just finished boarding and is about to push back for its flight up to Darwin. And moving to the other side of that terminal, we see a Cathay Pacific Boeing 777-200. This is at the double jet bridge gate and the only aircraft on this side of the terminal. Now the jet bridge on the other gate has been replaced with one of those new ones. However, I've decided to keep this older one just because it's the double jet bridge which fits this gate well. Anyway, he's just finished loading up cargo and catering and will be departing in about 40 minutes over to Hong Kong. And back to this side of the airport with the rest of it happening over there, we have a single Jetstar Airways A320 with winglets in the Jetstar section. This is just boarding via the buses, and in about half an hour we'll depart for a flight to Brisbane. Now in these two remote sections we do have a couple of aircraft today, starting off with this Australian Air Express BAE 146-100 freighter. Now this is an aircraft that's recently made its back into my mainline fleet. Previously, just about everything had broken in some way on it, with the nose landing gear falling off as well as the wings and the horizontal stabilizers. meaning it was basically just a fuselage and tail for a bit there, but I fixed it all up, so other than the chip on the top of the wing, the aircraft is in fine condition. Anyway, this is just finished refuelling and is loading up its cargo, and will depart later tonight for a flight to Melbourne. And just next to that, we have a somewhat interesting visitor to the airport. Here we see a blank white private Airbus A319 carrying the Canadian Rego Charlie Dash Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar. And this is here just operating as part of a charter flight. It's operating around to a few Australian destinations and will be overnighting here before departing tomorrow to Melbourne. Moving to the main section of the airport, we again see the all-white operating on behalf of Qantas Freight Boeing 767-300 freighter. While this was previously a one-off for the Qantas Freight operation, this 767 has now been wet leased as part of a somewhat long-term operation operating between AEC, Darwin and Hong Kong, then operating express back to AEC from Hong Kong to reload. This flight operates 4 times weekly, using either this aircraft or the Qantas Freight 767. Can be seen here loading up with its cargo, although it will be stabling here for the day before departing to Darwin later tonight. And next up we see the airport's very interesting visitor for the day. Very rare aircraft has arrived here, and this is the Russian State Transport Division Ilyushin IL-96-300. Now this is here picking up expelled Russian diplomats from Australia and will be returning to Moscow via Vladivostok, Russia, making sure to avoid international airspace before it gets into Vladivostok. Now this aircraft is currently just boarding said diplomats via the buses and is also refueling for its flight out. And this is carrying registration Romeo Alpha-96019, which was also the aircraft that operated the Moscow to, I believe it was the Washington flight, picking up expelled Russian diplomats there. So very nice aircraft, and very interesting to see it on the airport. And moving over back to the new terminal, which was only launched and featured last airport update, we see the Qantas side first. So here we have a Qantas Airbus A330-300. This is just boarding via both the front and rear of the aircraft, as well as receiving catering. And this will be departing in an hour or so for a flight out to Hong Kong as well. So just in its gate here at the new terminal, we have the Qantas new livery 737-800. This is also catering and will begin boarding shortly for its operation to Brisbane. Next to that, just getting cargo loaded and refueling, we have another Qantas 737-800. This one in the old livery. This is a Dragon Wings model. And this will be departing later on in the day for a flight to Alice Springs. And here we see a Qantas Link 717-200 just next to the 737s and finishing off the Qantas terminal. And this is here, it's just loading up some cargo at the moment. However, won't be in service and operation until later tonight, when it will then operate a flight to Brisbane. Just next to that, not doing much, in its gate we have the Air New Zealand Airbus A320 in the All Blacks livery. Now this arrived earlier today and won't depart until later tonight, hence why not much is going on with the aircraft. It will be operating the airport's daily AEC to Auckland service. And now as of next week, and so next airport update that you'll see, this flight will be swapped out for the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, giving the A320 a bit of a rest. So the odd A320 will sub in, however the flight will predominantly be operated by the 789. And here on the corner of this terminal, moving truly into the international area, we see a Vietnam Airlines Airbus A321neo. Now this is currently boarding via the jet bridge and the stairs, and will depart in about 40 minutes to Ho Chi Minh City. And the final main aircraft we see for the airport update, just on the end of the terminal, is this Malaysia Airlines Airbus A330-300 in their old livery. This is currently just getting catering and baggage loaded on, and later tonight we'll be heading out to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And before we finish the video, we'll finish off with the regional flights. Now these are much the same as they were last update, however I do hope to get some more aircraft to operate these. There is a Canadian North -8 Q100 on the way, and that'll be operating for the time being with Qantas Link. Hoping to also get the Qantas Link Q200 to accompany this, however I'm not sure if that will go to plan. But anyway, we'll get onto the aircraft that are here, that including this Qantas Link Q400. That is currently boarding with 2 buses currently approached to it. And this will be departing for the flight to Canberra. Just next to that, we have the Rex Sub 340B just refueling. And that'll be here for a while before heading out to Mildura. And on the end there, we have the once every, I think it's 3 times weekly, FIFO charter from Adelaide that was operated by the National Jet or Cobham Avro RJ100. And that is currently just about to commence boarding before departing in an hour or so. And so, thank you for watching. This pretty much concludes the airport update. It is really great to have some more GSE for the airport. It's really, I guess, brought things out and allowed the planes to be depicted in a more realistic situation. There are a few other odd GSE bits like the car on the runway there and also this taxiway cleaning truck. So yeah, it's really just a very nice addition to the airport, and even though there aren't a whole lot of new aircraft to be featured, I think the airport does benefit nicely from them. So I hope you have enjoyed the update and the video, and I hope to see you in the next video.